As always, it's been a pretty huge week in the world of celebrity news. A range of stories breaking out, including developments in the ongoing Astroworld Festival controversy, various stars shocking us with big announcements, and the latest in legal cases between Zayn Malik and Yolanda Hadid. Quickly before we get into it, news: Rachel Riley gives birth to second child. Rachel Riley, along with husband Pasha Kovalev, has shared some joyous news by announcing the birth of the pair's second child. The Countdown star met Kovalev in 2013, when the duo were partnered together on Strictly Come Dancing. And though the pair could not claim victory in the competition itself, they arguably won something far more important as they began to date before finally marrying in 2019. The new child, named Noah, is Riley and Kovalev's first son, with their first child being a daughter named Maven, born in December of 2019. Any of you with younger siblings will remember how you felt when meeting them for the first time, and for some children, it can prove to be difficult adjusting to the life with the new kid on the block. But thankfully, it seems that won't be an issue here. Rachel Riley has revealed that Maven has already made an attempt at welcoming her baby brother into the world. And though the infant probably can't appreciate the pickles his big sister offered to him, it's the thought that counts, right? Okay, now it's time to get into the latest in the ongoing situation concerning Zayn Malik and Yolanda Hadid. Zayn pleads no contest. Former One Direction star Zayn Malik and model Gigi Hadid got together in 2015, and since then the pair's relationship has been turbulent to say the least. The biggest controversy coming recently. According to reports and testimony from a security guard, on the 29th of September this year, Gigi's mother Yolanda showed up to Zayn and Gigi's house uninvited. When Gigi was off modeling in Paris, Zayn had apparently already had issues with Yolanda, believing that she had been leaking information to the press back when Gigi was pregnant, and eventually the tensions boiled over. It's reported that Malik verbally abused Yolanda before things eventually became physical, at which point he shoved her into a dresser, and this accusation has led to harassment charges being levied against Malik, who has also recently split with Gigi. Zayn has repeatedly denied ever striking Yolanda, but just recently, Malik pleaded no contest to the charges of harassment. Of course, this doesn't mean he's pleading guilty or admitting to anything, but it does mean that he will be penalized as if he was guilty. The star explained that he did not want to drag out the drama, as it would present an invasion of privacy for him and his family, including his younger daughter, and so he is willing to accept the sentence of a year on probation, mandatory anger management classes, and no contact with Yolanda. We're sure, given the fractured relationship between the two, that the last condition will feel more like a blessing than a curse. Zayn's family pleads for him to come home, and following up from everything going on with Zayn Malik, his family has made a plea for him to return home to Bradford in the United Kingdom, amidst other messages of support for the singer. Malik's mother, Trisha, has reportedly been in contact with her son and called for him to be reunited with his family so they can help him during his turbulent time. Meanwhile, both of Malik's sisters have taken to posting public messages of support on social media. Walia Malik has shared a quote assuring that the storm will pass, as well as posting an excerpt from Zayn's autobiography, in which he writes that he has been brought up to respect women. Most explosive of all, however, is Walia putting up a post about how karma comes after everyone eventually, insisting that nobody can get away with screwing people over. This appears to be a not-so-subtle message directed straight at Yolanda Hadid. With Walia clearly not believing the accusations being made against Zayn, Safa Malik hasn't been quite as active as her sister, but has shared a post about the importance of family and specifically tagged Zayn, affirming that he is loved by all of his family. It's clear that Zayn has support of his family members, regardless of what the truth of his altercation with Yolanda is. Meghan Markle under fire. Switching course to royal news, or well, formal royal news, the murky uncertainty of the situation aside, Meghan Markle is falling under fire from various royals commentators due to the way in which the retired actress signed off a recent public letter on the topic of paid parental leave, in which she referred to herself as the Duchess of Sussex. For those who somehow haven't heard anything about the Megxit drama, in 2020, Prince Harry of the British royal family, along with his wife Meghan Markle, decided to step away from the royal family, dropping all of their royal commitments and leaving behind their financial reliance on Buckingham Palace. There has been a lot of mudslinging as a result, and many royals have taken a special dislike of Markle, believing that she and Harry are ungrateful, or that the entire thing is an act, that the pair have caused the drama in an attempt to make themselves famous. Royal commentator Daniela Elzer appears to be one of those people, and, as you'd expect, has jumped straight on this news of Meghan daring to use her royal title, labeling her a hypocrite who is making things awkward for the Queen. It's worth noting that Meghan is fully entitled to use her royal title, as although she and Harry have stepped down from their roles within the royal family, they have still retained their titles. Harry is still a prince and the current Duke of Sussex, meaning Markle remains as the Duchess. What Elsa appears to take issue with here isn't simply that Markle is using the title, but that she is using it when involving herself with politics, which is something of a no-no for the royal family. Members typically are not allowed to have any involvement in politics, and sure, Meghan is no longer an acting member, but Elser suggests that using her royal title whilst doing something royals are not allowed to do is problematic, and that perhaps the Queen will even need to consider revoking Meghan and Harry's title. Simone Biles slams USA Gymnastics. Simone Biles became one of the hot topics of 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Yes, they didn't actually take place until this year, but they are still called the 2020 Games. Don't blame us. When she made a partial withdrawal from various sections of the gymnastic competitions, advocating for the importance of mental health and citing it as one of the contributing factors factors that caused her to pull out for Team USA. Biles is the most successful gymnast alive in terms of world medals, having racked up 25 in her career so far, and according to a recent interview, there's a growing danger that she will never again represent the United States. When interviewed by US Weekly, Biles noted that she would only return if she was sure it wouldn't negatively affect her mental health, before going on to slam the USA Gymnastics organization for its many failings, the most notable being its inadequate investigation of Dr. Larry Nassar, who sexually assaulted Biles amongst other athletes in 2018. Whilst Biles was quick to assure that she loves the coaching staff and her fellow members of USA Gymnastics, she described the organization itself as a dumpster fire that did not do what was necessary when it came to protecting its athletes from the sexual abuse carried out by Nassar. The 19-time gold medalist also went on to admit that she'd love to train again, but she will step away if it's at the cost of her mental well-being, declaring that she'd be completely fine with doing so. Let's discuss some more of the biggest stories coming out from the crazy world of celebrity living. Next up in news on the Astroworld horrors. Astroworld lawsuits. And finally, the Astroworld Festival has descended into a storm of controversy and lawsuits due to the horrific and tragic fatalities that occurred during the first night of the 2021 show. For those not in the know, Astroworld is an annual event hosted by American rapper Travis Scott. It started in 2018 and obviously took a year off in 2020 due to COVID-19. So on the 5th of November was set to be the big return of what was supposed to be a 2-day show. It will not be getting past its first day, however, as on the 5th, there was a tragic crowd rush incident that saw at least 8 people die, a further 300 being left injured by what is now being labeled a mass casualty event. How did this happen? Well, apparently not real preparation was made for the event of a crowd surge, despite the fact that Travis Scott himself has had multiple surges take place in his own shows throughout the past, including at the 2019 Astroworld event. By 9 p.m. on the 5th, the overcrowding was already obvious, with many concertgoers recounting how it became incredibly difficult to breathe. Such was the packed conditions. When Scott took to the stage, the crowd compressed further and the crush began. With many audience members being trampled, fans began to scream for help and chants of "Stop the show" broke out, but all the pleas seemed to fall on deaf ears, despite the fact that there were recordings of Travis Scott seemingly knowing what was happening. In the aftermath, the event and its performers have come under severe legal pressure, with a mountain of lawsuits being filed against them, with claims of negligence and inciting the crush being levied against the organizations and even Travis Scott himself. And that's all the latest news. Should Meghan Markle be allowed to use her royal title? Do you think Zayn Malik is innocent? Will we ever see Simone Biles represent the USA again? Let us know down in the comments. Bye for now.